Today we're making vegetable fried rice. This recipe is really simple and you can use whatever you have in the fridge. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm using mushrooms, 2 carrots, a spring onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 1 red chilli, a red pepper, and a small red onion. I've also got 2 fresh eggs and 1 lime. As well as that, I'm using some leftover sweet corn that I happen to have in the fridge. The most important part is the pre-cooked rice. I've got basmati rice here, but you can also use regular long grain rice as well. So, first you need to peel and chop carrots into small cubes. Chop them like this into slices, then stack them up and cut them lengthways into matchsticks. Then turn the stack round and slice them into small cubes, less than 1 centimetre in size. You want to look like this. You also, by the way, want to dice an onion, clear the work surface and open a nice cold beer. Whenever you are chopping, make sure you have a chopping board with a piece of wet kitchen towel underneath. This will stop the board from moving about and slipping while you're cutting. You also want a nice sharp knife. Blunt knives are really dangerous. Now move on to the red pepper. I only want half of this, so I'm just going to cut the end off. You want to chop this lengthways and then again after that into small pieces, just like the carrot. Then move on to the chilli. Most of the heat is in the seeds, so we're going to cut them out and finely chop the remaining flesh. Note, I'm using gloves here because if you get the chilli into your eyes or other sensitive areas later, you will know about it. 2 cloves of garlic are next. You can crush them under a knife to help get the skin off, then finely chop them up. Then we move on to mushrooms. You can see I'm just roughly chopping them up and throwing them in. I'm not worried about getting perfectly even, uniform mushroom pieces. Last thing you want to do then is get some light soy sauce, some dark soy sauce, some Worcestershire sauce, and some sesame oil. Mix half and half with both soy sauces until you have a good 8 or so tablespoons. Don't be shy with the soy sauce. Then add a tablespoon each of Worcestershire sauce and sesame oil. Once that's done, we take all of that over to the wok. I'm adding a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil to a very hot wok, and the first thing I'm adding is the carrots. I'm giving them a couple of minutes to soften before adding the rest of the vegetables. Speaking of which, I'm adding the onions and peppers next and giving them a couple of minutes to soften. Next, I'm adding the mushrooms and garlic along with a large pinch of Chinese 5-spice before giving it a stir and letting those flavours get to know each other. Next, I throw in some of that sweet corn and give it a stir up before adding my pre-cooked basmati rice. You just need to let it heat through at this stage, which will only take 2 minutes. Next, we're adding the soy sauce mix and giving it a good stir. You want every grain of rice covered with the sauce before it starts evaporating off. Squeeze over half the lime and make a well in the centre of the rice, into which you're going to crack both eggs, making sure not to crush the shell with your left hand, whoops, like that, and then whisking with a fork or chopsticks if you're feeling fancy. Quickly now mix the eggs into the rice and let it sit. This is important to allow nice crispy bits to form on the bottom. Then it's just a case of putting into a bowl and sprinkling with lime wedges and spring onion. I hope you enjoyed that recipe. Thank you very much for watching.